stress. But as biomedical scientist Georgina Ellison explains, as we age, so do our cardiac cells, making it more difficult to rejuvenate in later years. Today, Georgina shares how she and her research team are investigating the regenerative potential in the hearts of older adults, offering more chances for longer and healthier lives.
So my journey began with a PhD sponsored by the British Heart Foundation, and it was during this time that I discovered something remarkable. I was investigating the ability of skeletal muscle to repair and regenerate and form new muscle cells after injury. With a microscope, I was identifying these small, immature, regenerating muscle cells that express proteins that were reflective of them being newly born or newly formed. At this time, it was thought there was no heart muscle cell regeneration or renewal taking place in the adult heart. But every time I did my experiment, I kept seeing these small, immature, regenerating muscle cells that express those same proteins. I graduated my PhD, and I trained with some of the greatest scientific and inspiring minds to discover that the adult heart has a rare population of resident stem cells that can give rise to new heart cells. My biggest and strongest contribution to understanding the role of cardiac stem cells in heart repair and regeneration came through exploring a rare cardiac condition called broken heart syndrome. Well, something biological does actually happen to your heart following emotional distress. And people can literally suffer from a broken heart. So what I discovered was that in broken heart syndrome, a small number of heart muscle cells in a particular location in your heart, they die. And then this can affect the ability of your heart to pump blood. And your heart goes into failure for a small amount of time. But remarkably, in broken heart syndrome, the resident stem cells in your heart are able to regenerate and replace those cells that are lost, and your heart recovers. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, well, if there's stem cells in the heart that can regenerate new heart cells and the heart recovers, then why do people actually die from a heart attack? There are many, many, many reasons. But one of those reasons is age, old age. Aging leads to an increase in a phenomenon known as cellular senescence in several tissues, including the heart. These senescent cells, they have a limited ability to replicate. They build up in our bodies and they refuse to die. The main problem with a senescent cell is that it releases chemicals that can then be harmful to nearby cells, eventually making them become senescent and dysfunctional too. The buildup of senescent cells in our bodies promotes aging and the conditions that come with it, like osteoporosis, dementia, and cardiovascular disease. Recently, I've been working with clinicians and scientists at the Mayo Clinic in America, who have discovered a new class of agents called senolytics. Senolytics comes from the word senescent and lytic, which means destroying. They disable or eliminate senescent cells. Now, many classes of senolytics have already been discovered, and not all of them are pharmacological. Some of them are flavonoids, which are present in fruit and vegetables. So in terms of the heart, work by us and others has shown that senescent cells accumulate in your heart and blood vessels with age, contributing to cardiovascular disease. My team have recently shown that old age impairs the ability of your heart to regenerate and repair. We have found that as a person ages, so in the human heart, their cardiac stem cells become senescent and dysfunctional. In fact, by the time a person reaches the age of 75 years old, approximately 50% of your cardiac stem cells are senescent. This means the ability of your cardiac stem cells to regenerate and replace cells that are lost as a result of damage, injury, or through broken heart syndrome declines with age. So we wanted to understand, like the other age-related diseases where senolytics have shown an effect, could they also have an effect on heart repair and regeneration? So together with our colleagues from the Mayo Clinic, we published a paper last year where we showed that if we disable or eliminate senescent cells in the aged heart using senolytics, we can rejuvenate the heart's regenerative potential, in that we see cardiac stem cell activation, new heart cell formation, and improved cardiac function. So considering ours and other people's findings, senolytic approaches could be therapeutically relevant in treating patients. And the first clinical trial on senolytics was published last year. And they showed that after giving just a short course of senolytics, these patients had improved physical function as evidenced by increased walking speed and endurance. With the research and the clinical trials that we are currently undertaking, we have a very real chance of improving lifespan, but more importantly, health span. Ultimately, we hope to be able to delay the onset of multiple chronic age-related diseases, including cardiovascular disease, enabling people to live longer, fuller, healthier lives.